I'm terrified! What? No! I can't!
What if the woman Lewis Hamilton was once romantically linked to is now sitting inside the same family he has become romantically involved with? That's the question people are asking all over again. Because Lewis Hamilton and Kim Kardashian are no longer just two celebrities who happen to know each other. In 2026, their relationship has moved from years of friendship and speculation into something much more serious. They've been seen traveling together, spending time with Kim's children, appearing at major events, and publicly acknowledging their relationship. Kim even went Instagram official with Lewis in June 2026. But here's where the story gets interesting. Long before Lewis Hamilton was linked to Kim Kardashian, there was another Kardashian-Jenner connection, Kendall Jenner. And back in 2015, Lewis and Kendall were at the center of dating rumors after spending time together around the Cannes Film Festival and Monaco Grand Prix. Multiple reports at the time described the pair as flirtatious, with sources claiming they were attracted to each other. Kendall was even photographed wearing Lewis' chain around the Monaco race weekend. But Lewis publicly pushed back against the romance rumors. He told E! News that he and Kendall had been friends for a while and were just friends, while also praising her as focused, level-headed, and mature. So, officially, there was no confirmed relationship. But unofficially, the chemistry was enough to keep people talking. And now, years later, Lewis is dating Kendall's older sister. That has created one of those celebrity situations that feels almost too perfect for reality television. Because imagine being Kendall Jenner. The man you were once linked to is now dating your sister. And imagine being Kim Kardashian. You're dating one of the world's most famous Formula One drivers, but that man has a history, however brief or ambiguous, with your younger sister. That doesn't automatically mean there's jealousy. It doesn't automatically mean Lewis wants Kendall back. And it certainly doesn't prove that Kim is trying to keep him away from her sister. But it does make the situation fascinating, because the internet has a long memory, and people haven't forgotten 2015. Let's go back. In May 2015, Kendall was 19 and already becoming one of the most recognizable young models in the world. Lewis was 30 and had just come out of his long-term relationship with Nicole Scherzinger. Then came Cannes and Monaco. Lewis and Kendall were seen around the same social circles, and reports quickly turned their friendship into something much more romantic. According to Us Weekly's reporting at the time, sources claimed Lewis had developed a crush on Kendall and wanted to take her on a proper date. Other reports described them as flirting and enjoying time together around his yacht in Monaco. And this wasn't just one random photograph. They were seen together repeatedly. Kendall attended his race. She was photographed with him and friends. They spent time around the same events. And suddenly, the question became, are Kendall Jenner and Lewis Hamilton actually together? Then Lewis was asked about it. And he shut it down. Just friends. That's important, because we can't rewrite history and say they were definitely boyfriend and girlfriend when neither of them confirmed that. But we also can't pretend the rumors came from nowhere. There was enough interaction between them for the story to become international celebrity news. And that's where things get complicated. The rumors didn't simply disappear. Lewis continued to be linked with other women, while Kendall's own dating life continued to generate headlines. But the Kardashian-Jenner family and Lewis Hamilton remained connected through the same celebrity circles. And here's something that makes the current situation even more interesting. Kim Kardashian and Lewis actually knew each other long before they became romantically involved. They were photographed together as far back as 2014, when Kim was with Kanye West and Lewis was with Nicole Scherzinger. They also crossed paths at other events over the years. So this isn't a situation where Lewis suddenly met Kim in 2026 and everything happened overnight. They had history. They had mutual friends. They had been around each other for years. And meanwhile, Lewis had already been linked to Kendall. That's the part that makes the family connection so intriguing. Fast forward to 2026. Suddenly, the friendship between Kim and Lewis looked very different. Reports began emerging in February that the two had become romantically involved after being spotted together during a European trip. The relationship then continued developing through appearances at the Super Bowl, Japan, Coachella, and other events. By June, Kim had essentially taken the relationship public. And now we're looking at a completely different chapter. Lewis isn't just another celebrity visiting the Kardashian family. He's Kim's man. He's spending time with her children. He's appearing in family settings. And recent reports describe the relationship as serious and increasingly integrated into Kim's life. So, where does Kendall fit into this? That's where speculation takes over. That phrase sounds dramatic. It sounds like something you'd hear in a Kardashian episode right before the cameras cut to Kendall looking completely unimpressed. But is Lewis actually saying it? There is no credible evidence that Lewis Hamilton has publicly said he wants Kendall back. There is also no confirmed evidence that he has secretly remained in love with Kendall for more than a decade. That's important because celebrity body language can be entertaining, but a look isn't a confession. If Louis looks at Kendall when they're in the same room, that doesn't automatically mean he's thinking about getting back together with her. Maybe he's simply looking at someone he has known for years. Maybe they're friends. Maybe there's absolutely nothing romantic happening. Or maybe there's an awkward history that neither person wants to discuss. We don't know. And that's exactly why the internet is having so much fun with it. Now let's talk about the part that is people really talking. The idea that Kim Kardashian is trying to make Louis forget about Kendall. Again, there is no credible evidence proving that Kim is doing this. But as a fictional or speculative storyline, it practically writes itself. Kim is with Louis. Kendall is her younger sister. Louis and Kendall were once linked. And now the man who was once rumored to be interested in Kendall is spending time with Kim. That's enough for social media to create an entire television season. But there's another way to look at it. Maybe Kim doesn't care. Maybe Kendall doesn't care. Maybe Louis doesn't care. Maybe everyone involved moved on years ago. And honestly, that may be the most realistic explanation. The 2015 rumors happened more than a decade ago.
People grow.
Relationships change.
Careers change.
And Louis and Kendall were never publicly confirmed as a couple in the first place. Think about how unusual this is. Lewis Hamilton has known the Kardashian-Jenner family for more than a decade. He knew Kim when she was married to Kanye. He knew Kendall when she was becoming a model. He has watched the family grow and change. And now he's romantically involved with Kim. That means the past isn't disappearing. It's simply becoming part of the story. And whenever Louis and Kendall are in the same environment, people are naturally going to look for something. A glance, a smile, a conversation, a photograph, anything. But we have to be careful not to turn every interaction into evidence of secret feelings. Because that's how celebrity gossip turns into fake certainty. Still, there's something worth remembering. The Kendall rumors weren't invented years later. They happened in real time. In May 2015, multiple outlets reported that the two had developed a flirtation, and they were photographed together around Monaco and Cannes. Louis later denied that they were dating and called Kendall a friend. That's the documented version. Everything beyond that is speculation. So if somebody tells you Louis secretly remained in love with Kendall for 11 years, there's no solid evidence to prove it. But if somebody tells you Louis and Kendall were once publicly linked and that the story has now become interesting again because he's dating her sister, that's absolutely fair. Because that's exactly what happened. Today, the situation looks very different. Kim and Louis are openly spending time together, and their relationship has become increasingly public. Recent reports describe them as serious, with Louis being welcomed into Kim's family life. So maybe the real headline isn't Louis wants Kendall back. Maybe the real headline is, what happens when your sister's old rumored flame becomes your boyfriend? That's the question. Because if Louis truly had unfinished feelings for Kendall, only he knows. If Kendall ever had serious feelings for Louis, only she knows. And if Kim has ever felt uncomfortable about their history, only Kim knows. Everything else is internet detective work. But one thing is certain. The Kardashian-Jenner universe has once again produced a relationship triangle that sounds like it was written by a reality TV producer. Louis Hamilton, Kim Kardashian, Kendall Jenner. One current relationship, one old dating rumor, and more than a decade of history sitting quietly in the background. So the next time Louis walks into a Kardashian family gathering and Kendall happens to be there, you already know what the internet is going to be watching. Not the food, not the conversation, not the cameras. They're going to be watching his eyes. Because if he looks at Kendall for just a little too long, somebody online is going to say, I want her back. But until Louis himself says those words, that's where this story should remain. Speculation, not fact. And honestly, that's what makes celebrity stories like this so fascinating. Sometimes the truth is less dramatic than the rumor. And sometimes the rumor refuses to die. What do you think? Do you believe Louis Hamilton and Kendall Jenner ever had real feelings for each other, or were they simply friends caught in the middle of celebrity gossip? And now that Louis is with Kim Kardashian, do you think their old connection matters at all? Let me know what you think in the comments.